Prince William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles. Riley Sullivan is a lifestyle reporter here at skynews.com.au, and he's always across the latest celebrity headlines.
It didn't begin with fanfare, not even a dramatic leak to the tabloids, no viral rants or furious social media threads. It began with a whisper, a quiet murmur behind the closed doors of Westminster, so soft at first it was almost overlooked. But that whisper has grown louder, and now it's shaking the very foundations of Britain's monarchy. For the first time in modern history, Parliament is moving to do what even the Crown wouldn't dare: strip Meghan Markle of her Duchess of Sussex title. And not just symbolically, legally, permanently. This isn't just a story about royal family drama anymore. It's about power, responsibility, and the institution's very survival. And Meghan Markle, she's caught in the center of it all, branded by critics as the woman who turned royal duty into a Netflix docuseries. The motion didn't come from Buckingham Palace. It wasn't a royal decree. It was a formal petition placed directly into the House of Lords by Lord Simon Lee, a crossbench peer with no political allegiance. That alone was significant. But what followed was historic. Support poured in not only from conservative peers, but from Labour as well. Both sides of British politics had for once found common ground, and the target of that rare unity was Meghan Markle. The petition's core argument is bold. Meghan Markle is allegedly violating the very essence of royal decorum. Despite stepping away from royal duties in 2020 and agreeing not to use the Her Royal Highness title, Meghan continues to use Duchess of Sussex publicly. And this isn't just a technicality. In the eyes of many, it's a direct challenge to royal authority, an attempt to have the crown without the commitment. The institution stayed silent, but Parliament, it's finally speaking. Things reached a boiling point after Meghan and Harry's controversial trip to Nigeria. To the public, it looked like a diplomatic tour. Traditional attire, military handshakes, public speeches, glowing media coverage. But there was just one issue. It wasn't official. No clearance from the palace, no coordination with the Foreign Office. Meghan and Harry arrived and acted like working royals when they weren't. To insiders, this wasn't just bad form, it was dangerous. Parliament labeled it unauthorized diplomatic posturing, claiming it blurred the lines between personal branding and actual foreign policy. And in British politics, that's not just a mistake, it's a breach. But the Nigeria trip was just the match that lit the fire. The kindling had been building for years. Since leaving the royal fold, Meghan and Harry have built a media empire on the back of the Sussex brand. Netflix, Spotify, high-profile interviews. From their Archewell Foundation to multi-million-dollar production deals, the Sussex name has been front and center. Even their 2022 Netflix documentary, branded with royal fonts, palace imagery, and the title Duke and Duchess of Sussex, cemented their status not just as public figures, but as a full-blown brand, a royal brand. And that's what Parliament is now challenging. Royal titles were never meant to be merchandise. They are bound by law and steeped in centuries of protocol. Meghan and Harry's efforts to trademark Sussex Royal and Archewell as global entities crossed a line that no other royal had dared approach. In fact, Queen Elizabeth herself had to step in to stop them from selling merchandise using the word royal. Even then, the marketing continued. But nothing stirred the House of Lords quite like Meghan's viral moment at the Beyoncé concert in Los Angeles. Cameras caught her laughing, joking, and shouting, "You know I'm Sussex." Now, she even introduced herself to actress Mindy Kaling as Meghan Sussex. To fans, it was a lighthearted moment. But to members of Parliament, it was a dagger. That single phrase turned a noble title into a tagline, a punchline, a meme. The Lords referenced this exact moment in their motion. They weren't amused. They called it a crass trivialization of sovereign designation. In their eyes, Meghan wasn't simply violating etiquette, she was mocking the title granted by the crown itself. This may sound personal, but the numbers suggest otherwise. A YouGov poll from May 2025 delivered a brutal verdict. 77% of British citizens believe Meghan should lose the Duchess of Sussex title. That's not just disapproval, that's a landslide, a constitutional consensus, and it's not driven by gossip. It's driven by something deeper, a belief that the monarchy's meaning must be preserved. Parliament's argument is clear. Royal titles are not participation trophies. They carry a burden of representation, of dignity. Meghan Markle, critics argue, walked away from that duty and then turned around and tried to sell it. Her critics point to her Archetypes podcast, where Meghan repeatedly invoked her royal past to promote personal views and brand deals. In one episode, she suggested a member of the royal family made racially insensitive remarks about her son. That clip alone went viral, sparking a global storm. Buckingham Palace chose silence. Parliament, on the other hand, is now calling it sabotage. They argue that she used the title of Duchess not just as a shield, but as a weapon, one that the monarchy couldn't defend itself against. And now, that defense is coming not from the palace, but from the law. Legal experts have weighed in, citing the 1917 Royal Titles Act, which restricts the use of noble titles for commercial purposes. Violating it doesn't just cause embarrassment, it could lead to a complete legal revocation of title. For Meghan, that means losing the last thread connecting her to the royal establishment. Still, the case isn't built on one moment. It's a tapestry of perceived violations. From the Netflix docuseries to the Spotify fallout, from the Oprah Winfrey interview to the dramatic New York paparazzi car chase that the NYPD later called exaggerated, the House of Lords sees a pattern, not of coincidence, but of exploitation. Parliament's motion lays out the argument in sharp legal terms. Meghan's repeated appearances under the Duchess of Sussex name, especially in commercial contexts, have, they claim, transformed a noble rank into a media slogan. And in the rigid world of British governance, that's not innovation. That's grounds for removal. But the petition doesn't stop at Meghan. It's beginning to raise questions about Harry too. 61% of the public now believes that Prince Harry should be stripped of his Royal Highness status. For now, Parliament is focusing on Meghan, but critics are watching Harry closely, wondering if he might be next. Yet, despite the growing legal and political momentum, Buckingham Palace has remained silent. King Charles has reportedly declined to intervene. Some say it's a strategic decision, letting Parliament handle the controversy to avoid making it a personal royal judgment. Others say it's hesitation, a reluctance to draw an irreversible line through the family tree. But for Meghan Markle, time may be running out.